Welcome, everyone. Grand Gnosis Master, Dr. Thor Templar here, and we're going to cover Mini-trances Part 2. All part of understanding how to manifest. Now, let's talk about energies. This is a very critical area, and everyone really doesn't understand this, and they're trying to always find a shortcut, like all humans are doing, to do things quick, fast, and easy. Unfortunately, this rarely works. That's what we call, quote, technology, machines, tools, etc. They all help in this area and usually miserably fail to do the kind of task that we want, and it takes an expert to use it. If you want a house built that looks good and is a masterpiece, well, certainly you need all the right tools, but you need to have that person handling the tools. You need that person swinging the hammer that has experience and knowledge behind them. It's plain and simple as that. So, as all of us look at these things, we need to understand what we've talked about using mini trances to, of course, activate amulets and other tools that you have, and how important these are to shift from your common consciousness into a magical being consciousness, your higher self, your empowered person. Part of this is once you switch into this reality and you start to manifesting, which happens, pretty much instantly. We used to think that it took time to do this, but it's really not. Based on the occult science understanding / quantum physics who stole the occult sciences, information is transferred instantly. Does it need time? No, it needs time to work, meaning if you're trying to manifest something in your life, meet a person, money, etc. Well, once the energy is sent to the target then has to be worked upon by that energy, and that energy then starts to manifest in your life. And this is something that has to be done quite often for very short periods of time at high intensity, as I always say. But what high intensity? Well, first of all, you need to be psyched up into what's going on, but and what you desire, but that's only part of it because of the fact that you are a very low-level energetic substance or being or whatever you want to call yourself when you look at yourself as energy. Now, in the occult sciences, everything is about energy. It's about building energetic fields around you, which serve as a kind of magnetic energy to draw to you what you want. And this is, of course, what successful and powerful people have naturally, and then it builds over life by making the right connections, by doing all the things that are involved with that. So it's a combination of things. So if you're a very charismatic person, you're not necessarily going to be good at business or anything else, but you're going to be able to attract people that are good at business that you could use or work with. This has pretty much been stated through the actual, if we look at Steve Jobs from Apple Computer, I mean, this guy was nothing but a bumbling idiot. He knew nothing. They had meetings and people came in, including Bill Gates, and were talking about the code connection here, and the code is written in this way, and we need to do this to make it work right. And Steve Jobs would say, well, we need a cabinet that's shiny. That was his mentality. So the point is, he didn't graduate college. He went and ate mushrooms and developed what he needed to do in life was to find out that he could BS people with his big, obnoxious mouth and his Arabic background to push his way into all of those areas. So, he was able then to draw people to him. That's a way of that he has a personal charisma, and he was able to have people really do all the work for him, and then was able to push his way through using these intimidation techniques. And of course, it still is an energetic thing. People, for one reason or another, believed in him to the day he died, which is amusing. But It is about energetic fields. If you want to be healthy, you have to have energetic health fields around you that are drawing positive things to you, that are keeping your physical energies around you positive. If you want to be successful, you have to have those energies around you. If you're a person who is lucky or never gets into problems or never been hurt, well, it means you have strong protective energies around you. So all of this is what the occult sciences are all about. That's what amulets and other things are. They bring all these energies to you, surround you with these energies, and then they start working on their own. But you do have to connect to these energies consciously often, especially if you are seeking some sort of manifestation in your life, getting a new job, bringing money to you, meeting a person, the usual things we all go through. So you do have to constantly connect with these energies, as I've already stated, often for short periods of time at high intensity. Now, this high intensity is based on what? Well, it's based on energy. And this all gets back to being in an energetic flow at all times. And that's what's so difficult. Pretty much everyone that is doing, quote, extreme abilities, we see this from people who are able to slow down their heart, people who are able to do a lot of feats, chi masters, etc. Well, that's because they're stored all this energy. And they've done it in a very particular way and keep storing it. Chi practitioners are constantly drawing energy in and holding it because chi goes to a certain level, is dissipated, and then has to be recharged again. So it's very much like a battery. So, but the point is, you're not doing that as the average person. Monks and other people are constantly praying, constantly putting their mind in a particular trance state to stay at a particular centered reality. And this is where the centering comes in, that is so important in the occult sciences. If you're not centered, if you don't control your mind, someone else is. Whether it's your evil subconscious or mind itself, the toxic sewer that is, society, your parents, everything that goes with that. So you're being influenced constantly because you don't control. You need to control your mind. You need to be at a state of consciousness to understand what is wisdom and what is opinion and garbage, and discard it. But you also need to be constantly in an energetic state, which is what a lot of centering is all about, and also the occult gem practices, which trigger energies within you to build you to have extreme abilities. And these are muscles that have to be worked, passages of energy that have to be open that are blocked. So there are these things you have to do. But one of the major areas that everyone needs to understand is that centering concept, because of the fact that you're constantly dumping energy out of your manifesting abilities. And this is very critical, so everyone listen carefully. Now, anytime you do anything or think anything, you're using energy to do that, which is why you need to stop thinking. So everybody's thinking, and it's like a rocking chair. You can rock all day in a rocking chair. You're moving a lot. You just ain't going nowhere. So the point is that we need to quite understand that. We need to understand that you're not going anywhere when you're thinking. Instead of thinking about something, just get up and do it. That has saved you a lot of energy. So if you're wondering if you have that item or that book, or you have enough money in your wallet to go shopping, don't think about it first. Get up and do it. Learn to work in that reality so that that's how you function. Instead of thinking about it, opening the spigot and dumping all that energy out for no reason, because you have to go and check it out anyway. You just get up and do it. And these are the type of ways of functioning. You have to retrain yourself. Any thought that isn't towards your goal or isn't stayed in the centering position. Now, when you're centered, you could say it's like a bottle of carbonated soda. Your top is on there, and as long as the top is secure, the seal is good and no energy is escaping. What happens even and that top has to be securely tightened down fully, not half on there, not half off, not a little loose. Why? Because the energy then seeps out of it. So a centered person is someone who's constantly in that actual reality. Now, the minute you start thinking about non-centering thoughts, so you don't stay in that enclosed carbonated bottle. You just turn it a little bit, and what do? Well, we all know what happens when you open the top of a carbonate. Shh, you hear that sound. And a lot of times, if it's not fully tightened down, well, there's a leaking anyway that you don't know of. And then you go to drink something a bit in the future, and you open it up and it's flat. All the energy has been released because you didn't pay attention to making sure the seal was good. Well, that's what life is all about. You got to keep that seal on there. You can't be thinking about all sorts of crap in life that just drain the hell out of you. Let's talk about things of a sexual nature in terms of the worst draining energy there is, and everybody loves sex for some psychotic and unreally known reason because there's no purpose for it, but that's for another lecture. But the point is that the minute that happens, all sorts of chemicals and energies in your body start. So and of course males have sexual thoughts almost every second in their life. So the point is you're having a sexual thought almost constantly, which means you're constantly pushing energy down to your genitals and causing organs to react. And it's different levels of this. But the bottom line is there's always a little bit. So you're always pushing energy down and out of your body because of these sexual thoughts. Now, what happens in sexual stimulation in general? Well, first of all sorts of blood rushes to your organs. This is male or female. Well, doesn't that require a lot of energy? If blood is moving to a particular area and you're having physical responses and high states of excitement of sexuality, is a huge amount of blood in your genitals, particularly with males, but females are the same way. That's all part of the process of the stimulation. You're moving blood down there. You're starting to lubricate. All sorts of things are happening. And then all of a sudden, well, you continue to waste all this energy by completing some sort of sex acts, with masturbation being highly negative because it just drains the garbage out of you. Or even if you have sex with a person, you're probably doing it improperly and you're draining yourself again. But again, that's for my added sexuality in my new book coming out on Next Level Sexuality. But the point is that this happens with everything. So you're draining all this energy. And let's say it's just a passing thought. Since you're having these thoughts constantly, I mean, every basic second, even if we go past that and we say every 5 to 8 seconds, which some people say is the case, which I don't even think is realistic in this day and age, considering it's everywhere. But the point is that you're constantly shooting it, and then it stops. Okay, you think about something else, you break that. But you're constantly draining yourself because of those thoughts. Things are happening within your mind and everything else. And this goes with everything. If you are thinking about some particular situation that is negative, worry, you're draining yourself. If you're thinking about confrontations, or you're angry at somebody, you're draining yourself. These are all the things that happen in this constant draining situation that we go through. Even happiness is highly draining. Have you ever smiled too much, went to a movie that was hilarious for an hour and a half and your face hurts and you feel drained? That's right, people. Happiness is draining. So the point is, everything is draining. If you want to manifest and have extreme abilities, you need to hold on to every bit of energy you possibly can. That means you have to stay in this centered state of reality. Now, this isn't a Mr. Spock nonsense garbage type of thing. This is being in a controlled emotional state, dealing with only what you have to while conserving your energy. It's just the perfect state of being. It is a state of general well-being and what could be called happiness. So you're basically content. You understand what's going on. Now, being happy, as I said, in terms of over the top, is very draining, just as being depressed is. So the point is, being centered is being at the perfect state of consciousness, and this state of consciousness does some amazing things to your personal empowerment. Now you're not wasting all these energies, constantly being in an up and down emotional state, good, bad, or indifferent, So you have those energies, and those energies then now are channeled to your particular goal of manifesting. Extremely critical. This is covered in the art of manifesting, which you will find on my website, and is one of the recent releases from the Guild. This is the most important occult secret there is, followed by using occult gym practices. So, once you're at this saved energy state, you want to increase your energies and all of those semi-mysterious energies that are locked in you, around you, and about you, so to speak, through using occult practices to open up all these blockages, which requires what? Energy. That's right. It requires basic concentrational energies that now you have because you're doing the art of centering. That should be crystal clear to everyone. This is one of the major secrets that very few people talk about. Don't waste thoughts on anything. They're worthless. They drain you. They do nothing. And this is pretty much how our entire day is spent in this emotional ping pong game. And this emotional ping pong game is not just the state of confusion it produces, but the state of confusion and all the other emotional ping pongness of it is draining you dramatically. And this is stopping manifestation, which is the reason why so few people manifest well. They just don't have the energy. They're messed up on substances, from drugs to prescriptions, to all sorts of things that people take that they think help them, to all the emotional ping pong roller coaster reality that they live in. This is all a horrific drain to your inner magical being and your higher self, which makes everything happen. Stay centered, stay empowered, and develop extreme manifesting abilities. It's just that simple.